Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at how to keep a small team or road to glory save realistic on FIFA. This was actually a suggestion by C. Shafi. I've put his comment on the screen right now, and a lot of the ideas in his comment were really good, so I do recommend you give it a read if you don't want to watch the whole video. However, you will be missing out on 4 of the other points in this video because only one of them really comes from this comment. But we're going to begin with it anyway. So this is following the league's transfer trends. You can see C. Shafi did some good analysis on League 2 clubs. He found out that only 2 permanent transfers were done the whole of last season. This is definitely something you should try and do to keep your save more realistic. I know FIFA begins most teams in the league with around $1 million to $2 million budget, which of course is way bigger than you actually have in League 2. That's more like the entire operating budget for some of these clubs, not just the transfer budget, so it's unlikely you would ever see a team spend that much money. Of course, there are some examples of teams that have spent quite a bit of money in the league. Crawley a couple of seasons ago when they had their rich owner, and Salford more recently when they've started buying players from the Scottish League. But unless you're role playing as one of these teams with a rich owner or rich group of owners, then you're not going to be able to spend that much money. Focusing on signing only free agents in the first transfer window is going to be pretty hard on FIFA, because unlike Football Manager, which has a pool of free agents, every player in FIFA is assigned to a team. However, going forwards from the first season onwards, you're going to have a decent amount of players in the free agent pool that you can sign on free transfers. If you want to try and follow this rule, a good suggestion might be holiday the first season and then start from the second season onwards. Especially now we're getting towards the end of the season, it does feel a little bit weird starting your career mode in August 2020, so you might want to try and simulate a whole season and begin it in August 2021 instead. This would let you have the free agents and the free transfers, and would give you a year of player growth and random transfers to spice up the career mode a little bit. So when you're in the 4th Division or League 2, you're only going to want to sign players from League 2, maybe the Irish League, or maybe the Scottish League if there's an especially bad player that you want to sign. Not really any other league would want to join a League 2 team. However, you can also have loans, but again in FIFA it would be hard to get a loan from any team above the Championship. Of course, after one promotion, you're going to be able to sign a few more players. By the time you get to the Championship, you can sign players from pretty much any league outside of the top divisions, and then in the Premiership, of course, anyone's going to want to join you. My second tip to how to keep your RTG a bit more fun is don't sign players that are much better than the current players in your squad. Usually the rule I have is if you're in League 2, I don't sign anyone better than 64, in League 1, 68, Championship 74, and in the top flight I try and keep them around 82 to 83. Depending on how well you're doing in the league, of course, you can eventually get some 90 rated players, but I wouldn't go out and sign a bunch of 88 rated players as soon as I get promoted to the Premier League. I think a lot of the fun in the road to glory is bringing some players along the road with you. So if as soon as you start getting good, you start turfing these players out, it wasn't a very good road for them. This third tip keeps it both more realistic and more challenging, and that is don't abuse the free transfers. I know I mentioned a lot of teams in League 2 do have a lot of free transfers, and it's not about the amount of free transfers you get, it's more about the quality of the free transfers you can get. There's no problem if you're in the Championship and you sign 20 new free transfers and they're all 62 rated, but if you're in League 1 or League 2 and you put all your budget into wages, you can sign someone like Harry Wilson, who's 76 overall. Of course, this would never happen in real life. He would have so many teams in the Championship and Premiership who want to sign him instead. So that's my third tip on how to keep it a little bit more challenging. My fourth one involves youth scouts. So if you've watched my video on how good youth scouts are, you'll see that there isn't actually too much difference between a 1-star and a 5-star scout. The average overall rating difference is about 6, and the average potential is about 7 or 8. This all evens out, especially if you're in League 2 where you'll be able to give the player more time than if you're in the Premier League, and because of this, his overall will improve faster and his potential will grow as he performs better. Because of this, I would recommend only having 1 1-star scout in the 4th Division, 2 1-star scouts in the 3rd Division, 2 3-star scouts in the 2nd Division, and when you get to the Premier League, you can go all out and get 3 5-star scouts if you want. It's a little bit annoying how overpowered Youth Academy players are, because it does ruin the fun when you do get a diamond, because you know you'll probably get someone just as good the month after. My fifth and final tip is involving following the team's current trends. I'm going to go outside of England for this one and give examples of French and German division teams who might have other nationalities in them. So very commonly in France you'll have a strong core of African players. If, for example, your squad starts off with 6 Cameroon players, then of course try and sign Cameroon players, as these ones get too poor for your squad. Likewise, if you start out as the Turkish team in 3rd division of Germany, then try and sign Turkish players, following the trends that the teams have already set in motion. In England, a lot of the time you'll see teams have a lot of either Scottish players if they're up north, or Irish players all over the UK. If you try and sign these players at the same rate to keep the same ratios of Irish, Scottish, Turkish, Cameroonian, no matter what player that is, try and keep it the same throughout the whole career mode. This gives you a challenge of signing players you might not have looked at before, because there is quite a good amount of talent in the Irish and Scottish leagues at the moment. But of course you can also balance this out by signing as many Argentinian wonderkids as you think is realistic. So that's 5 tips I have on how to keep your English 4th division road to glory simple, realistic, fun, and pretty entertaining in my opinion. If you have any more suggestions, then feel free to drop them in the comments, as this video itself was actually spawned from a suggestion on one of my other career mode tip videos. If I see something that's particularly good, I've probably pinned it below, so feel free to check out the comments and leave your own if you do have any ideas. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I know it's another tip video in a row, but hopefully I'll go back to making more traditional videos coming soon. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers and bye.